1 year after my husband's death, I finally found the courage to unlock his old office. For 12 months, I had avoided that room. Every shelf, every notebook, every coffee stain on his desk reminded me of Daniel. Friends told me to move on, but grief doesn't follow a calendar. I simply wasn't ready. Then one rainy Monday, I hired a renovation company to convert the office into a small reading room. I thought a fresh start would help me heal. When I arrived to let the workers in, the foreman smiled politely. "We'll have this place cleared out in a couple of days." I nodded and handed him the keys. As the workers began removing old cabinets, one of them called my name. "Ma'am, I think you should see this." Behind a large wooden bookshelf, hidden inside the wall, was a small steel door. My heart nearly stopped. I had lived in this house for 9 years and had never seen it before. The foreman looked at me. "Should we open it?" My hands trembled as I nodded. After several minutes, they managed to pry the rusty lock open. Inside was a tiny hidden room. It wasn't filled with money or jewelry. Instead, there was a single desk, an old lamp, dozens of neatly labeled boxes, and a letter with my name written on the front. To Emily. My breath caught. The handwriting was unmistakably Daniel's. The workers quietly stepped outside to give me privacy. I unfolded the letter. "If you're reading this, it means I'm no longer here. I didn't tell you about this room because I hoped I'd have many more years with you. But life doesn't always give us that choice." Tears blurred the words. "I know you're probably angry that I kept secrets. Please forgive me. This room isn't about hiding things from you. It's about protecting something I wanted you to discover only if I couldn't tell you myself." I looked around. Each box had a year written on it. There were journals, photographs, birthday cards, vacation tickets, even dried flowers from our first anniversary. Daniel had saved every important memory of our marriage. Inside another box was a small video camera. Next to it was another note. "Play me." I found an old charger in one of the drawers. After several anxious minutes, the screen flickered to life. Daniel appeared, smiling exactly as I remembered. "Hi, sweetheart." I immediately burst into tears. "If you're watching this, I guess I lost my fight. I wish I could hug you one last time." He paused, collecting himself. "I need you to know something. When the doctors told me I had little time left, I realized I couldn't leave without making sure you'd never doubt how deeply I loved you." He reached off camera and held up a worn notebook. "I spent every week writing down the reasons I fell in love with you all over again." I searched the shelves until I found the notebook. It contained hundreds of entries. The way you laugh when movies aren't even funny. The way you always make coffee before asking if I want some, because you already know the answer. The way you dance while cleaning the kitchen. Page after page. Reason after reason. By the time I reached the last entry, my tears had soaked the pages. But there was one final surprise. A sealed envelope labeled "Open Last." Inside was a key, along with a bank document. Daniel had quietly invested money for years. Not millions, just careful savings. Enough to pay off the remaining mortgage and fund my lifelong dream of opening a neighborhood bookstore. He had written one final message. "Please don't spend your life mourning me. Spend it living the future we dreamed about together." A few weeks later, the renovation was finished. But not as originally planned. Instead of turning the office into a reading room, I preserved the hidden space exactly as Daniel had left it. The journals stayed on the shelves. The video camera remained on the desk. The notebook of love stayed in the drawer where I'd found it. Months later, I opened a cozy bookstore downtown. Above the register sat a framed photo of Daniel smiling. Customers often asked who he was. I'd smile and answer, "The man who reminded me that love doesn't always end with goodbye." Every evening before closing, I'd look at that photo. I no longer cried every time. Sometimes I even laughed while remembering his terrible jokes. Grief hadn't disappeared. It had simply changed into gratitude. Daniel's greatest gift wasn't the hidden room. It wasn't the savings. It wasn't even the letters. His greatest gift was teaching me that true love continues, shaping your life long after the person is gone. And every time someone walked into my bookstore searching for a new beginning, I silently thanked the man who had given me mine.